starry into the vertical glass.
Hi, this is 8-bit Jeff here. Welcome to the first episode of Single Button Start. In this series, we will cover games that will run from emulation with a single button press. Why? Because one of the most difficult things to do when getting started with emulating the vast array of computer games for various systems is to just get the game started and playable. Today we're going to look at Atari computer games from both the ST and Atari 8-bit. I will be using the Launchbox setup that Mission Ed Possible recommended that we start using. I've been carefully curating a collection of games for future videos and documentaries. I'm not just dumping every ROM in existence into a folder and adding them, but using this as a way to find real gems that need some attention. These games will only need a single button press to get started on either an Atari ST or an Atari 8-bit emulator. You don't even have to use Launchbox. These will basically work the same on a RetroPi or any other multi-system emulator front end. I have my Hyperkin Trooper 2 USB 2600 stick hooked up to my laptop and I'm ready to play. Let's get started. Here's my Launchbox setup. I've been curating games mostly for the Atari ST and the Atari 8-bit computers with a few other consoles that I've been needing, like the Jaguar and a few 7800 games. The first game that I have on here that I know works with a single button start is called Air Supply. It's sort of a Uridium clone, but vertical, and it's really difficult. And I'm going to start this up, and I'm going to choose the cheats because it's the only way I can play the game. That's Air Supply. That's a really fun, well-optimized game on the ST that I have to use cheats with to actually play. Okay, the next one that I know works with single button start is Classic 4 Renaissance from 1990. This actually has four classic games on it, four classic arcade games, each with two different modes. We're going to try each of the four games. So that's Classic 4. It's a decent set of games. None of them are the best versions you're going to find of them. They're all pretty good. It's worth playing because if you have an ST emulator up and you're looking for some classic games to play, they all are one button start. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have a game called, that I know works, is going to be Foundations Waste by Exoset. And before we get this one started, I just want to say that this is my friend Brandon's favorite game on the Atari ST, or at least it was his first game on the Atari ST. He bought our Atari 520 ST from us in 1988, allowing us to get a 1040 ST. Brandon was a constant companion all through junior high and high school, and all the way from then until now. And he was one of a core of just a few really good friends that Steve and I remained having through all the years. And Brandon passed away yesterday from brain cancer, or actually earlier in the week. It's really sad. This is why I don't have a really big elaborate video this week. I just wanted to play some games. Don't want to get too far into it. Just want to say we're playing Exoset's Foundations Waste for Brandon. All right, the next one that we are going to play is Kid Kong, a Donkey Kong game by Dave Munsey. And Dave Munsey made a lot of great shareware games on the Atari ST. This one is from, I think, also around 1989 or 1990. I would love to play more of that one, but it is so difficult. The controls are a little sticky in emulation, and I want to play it on a real machine with a CX40, not this USB Atari joystick. But it is one button start, and it is good if you have, maybe it will work better with a gamepad, um, but it's definitely worth playing. Now let's move on to Pac Mania STE. So this is the upgraded Pac Mania for the STE, and it's on an extended size screen too. It's not the standard size screen, so they use overscan, vertical overscan for this one. I love That's Pac Mania STE. That is a 2015 remake, or actually upgrade to the STE from the original, and I left that out of my Atari ST Pac-Man games video I made a few weeks ago. This is probably would be one of the top ones. I didn't do a top 10, but this would be one of the top ones. I still think Pac-Man ST is the best pure Pac-Man game, though. Okay, let's get on to the next one we want to try, and this is going to be, there's Terry's Big Adventure. Terry's Big Adventure is a nice, calm little side scroller platform game. The type of game I never really played on the ST, but I like to go and take a look at games like this. So the last one we're going to look at on the ST today for single button start is Scramble Spirits. Now Scramble Spirits right here is an arcade conversion, but we're going to take us by Grand Slam from 1990. What we're going to do is we're going to play a Mega ST version that I created. Not I didn't create the Mega ST version, but I created the launching for it. So we have both an ST version that plays 8 megahertz and we have ST1 that plays with the STE settings in Atari. So let's do that. It speeds it up a little bit, makes it a little bit more fun to play, and it's something you can easily do with Launchbox. So that's Scramble Spirits. Pretty good on the plain old ST, a little slow, better played with the Mega STE. It lets you play kind of as if you're using a blitter because everything's timed to the vertical blank. But okay, so that's the last single button start game for today on the ST. Let's move over to the Atari 8-bit computers. And the first one we are going to look at is the Donkey Kong Arcade update for the Atari 8-bit. I should not have tried to jump over that fireball. Okay, the next one that we are going to play is the Jeff Minter Classic Gridrunner. Wow. That is a difficult game, but it's a Minter game, and it's got Zarjazz. Okay, the next one we're going to take a look at is Zone Patrol.
Get ready.
This next game we're playing is Zand's Labyrinth. It's a little like Slither. I almost got through that one. Okay, that was Zand's Labyrinth. We have one more game that we want to show on One Button Start today, and that is going to be the Jeff Minter Classic, Attack of the Mutant Camels. It didn't do that well. It's a fun game, though. Let's see if there's one more. I don't know if I have another one on here. The only other game that I have on here that will be one button start for sure is Star Wars. So let's do a little Star Wars. It is not the Parker Brothers Star Wars. This is a Domark Star Wars, and it's pretty good. Let's take a look at it. One thing about Star Wars, that game, the controls are mapped upside down on purpose, so as if you're flying with a flight stick, but you're not flying, you're moving a aiming reticle, and so it makes it really difficult because down is up and up is down. But you get used to it. It's pretty good, and especially one thing you can do in emulation, if you're emulating these games, you can switch the control so down is up and up is down. Well, I haven't done it. I don't know if you can do it in this emulator, but it's something you could try. And okay, well, that's a selection of games for both the Atari ST and the Atari 8-bit that will play in an emulator with one button start. We're going to be collecting together a whole bunch more across the Atari computers, the Atari consoles, and other computers, such as the Commodore 64 and Amiga that we'll be able to try, along with the ZX Spectrum and others that just have one button to start. Because that's the problem with playing games on a computer you know nothing about in emulation. You really need one button to start. Okay, until next time, into the vertical blank.
We explored 8-bit worlds, Pixels crashed onto